welcome back to another stream. It's been a little bit of a while. It's been about 8 days since I did the last stream. So, welcome back to another one. Today we're going to do the aftermath of the A Night of a Trance event that was that took place yesterday, and we're also gonna do some updates. And unfortunately, this isn't going to be the most exciting, happy stream that I have ever done on this channel. Unfortunately, this is a stream that I've never really wanted to do, and it's not to do with the aftermath of this event. But we'll get on to the bad stuff kind of after we touch down on the event. So yesterday was a night of trance fusion in Grimsby. Now, it was very surprising that I even came to this event, because I have had the week from hell. Literally, really had the week from hell, but like I say, we'll get into that a little bit later on. But the event was really good. The event was amazing. It was really nice to go somewhere a little bit different and hear some different songs. That was, because I do a lot of bounce and clubland, and I do a lot of hardcore, and I love them genres, but I do also like my trance, and it was nice to go to a trance night, and it was nice to do something a little bit different. And there was a good vibe there at the event. Everybody was just happy. Everybody was enjoying themselves. There was no trouble, which was really good. So I was on at 10 o'clock. Now, I was really not looking forward to this night. I was not looking forward to the set. And that was nothing against the event itself. Now, I think I did mention this in the previous streams, that my computer has broken. And I don't really have much on my USB stick in the way of trance music. My stick is mainly like house music, bounce, and kind of like hardcore with some sort of hard dance and some harder stuff. But trance really lacks. I had a little folder which was titled Classic Trance, and it had some like classic Kevin and Perry stuff in there. So that was kind of the only thing that I could really think about playing. I thought I can't just go to that night and play like a bounce set like I would usually play. That was obviously something that wasn't on the cards. And because I didn't really like, when I got the booking, I had like a really sort of good and sort of exciting idea of like what I wanted to play, and I had like a vibe in my head for the set. But then when the computer broke, I couldn't go onto the web and get any tracks to kind of put onto the stick, and I just had to play what was sort of on the stick. But to say that I had to do that, it didn't really make me do any less of a good set. If anything, I actually really enjoyed the set. I played a really good mixture, so I played things like Paul van Dyk for an Angel. I played things like Rough Drivers with Dreaming. I played things like Matt Darey, Marcella Woods, You're Beautiful. It's just beautiful. The track's called. So I played kind of like all of them kind of like classics, and it took people back. And one of the other DJs on the lineup was like, I haven't heard that tune in a long time, and he said I did a good set, and it was nice, kind of nice to hear that. I got onto the set, and one of the CDJs began playing up, and it went into an emergency loop where the deck just basically kept looping, and it had like froze on a loop. And then I managed to get it off the emergency loop. Well, my friend did. And then I got into near the end of a track I was playing on that deck, and basically it went into the loop again, and then I was able to mix out of that loop, but the loop hadn't set itself like properly. So like every time it looped, it knocked the mix slightly out of beat. So I had to keep moving the jog wheel. I had to get it out of the mix. And then I had to turn the CDJ off and turn it back on. And when I turned it back on, there was just it wasn't loading my tracks from where the deck is linked. So like my stick was in the other deck, and then it was linked to the CDJ that was dodgy. That wouldn't load. And then in the end, like I was a little bit panicky. Everybody had kind of like disappeared from like around the decks. So like my friend had gone outside to smoke, and then I couldn't like tell him to go and tell anybody. There was literally nobody there. I was getting close to the next mix point, and I didn't know what else I could do. And, I was thinking, do I even go and leave the booth? And then I in the end, I had to do. And then we managed to get him to come over, and he turned the deck back off and back on, and still didn't work. And then he unplugged the link wire and plugged it back in, and then we got it to link again. And then there was no more issues with the deck. But it was just, it was annoying, and I really hate things like that happen on sets. I really hate that because it puts me off, and it gets me angry, and I go into something that I don't like going into, but I get really annoyed because like I feel like I've ruined the set. I feel like I've not done good for myself. And other people go like, "Oh, you still smashed it," and to say you only had the tunes you still smashed it. And I was thinking, because I was hearing the person before me, and they were playing this really nice, banging, sort of uplifting, sort of newer trance set, and I was thinking, what I'm gonna play. Like I can't match this set with what I've got on my stick, and then basically some of the tracks I have, like the quality on them isn't the best. And I just thought like this isn't going well. And then when the deck went into the emergency loop, that's when I kind of thought like, do you know what, like this is just not good at all. And it really kind of put me in a little bit of a mood, in all honesty. And I wasn't feeling it as it was. But then once we kind of got through the bit where the loop had stopped, I actually had quite an enjoyable set, and I got the crowd chanting and cheering, played some absolute belters, and played some tracks that they hadn't heard for a while, and really took them back, in terms of like the trance sort of anthems and stuff like that, which was really good. It was really enjoyable, in that sense. And then the rest of the night, there was some really good sets with Lange, obviously, absolutely smashing his set, which was really good. And I was probably home for about 4 a.m. or something like that, maybe just a little bit after, and made myself a doner meat toasty, and it was a doner butty actually, and then got myself to bed. The next thing I knew, it was like 11:30 today, and it was all kind of over. So but yeah, really enjoyable, really, really good. Enjoyed the set in the end after we had a few little technical difficulties, and I tried to perk myself up. I tried to get into the frame and the zone, and sort of throughout the day, I was thinking, you know what, I'm actually quite looking forward to tonight. And then it was just like I got there and the deck was playing up, and I just thought, you know what, like I just don't know, but then it kind of like it went from kind of like good to bad, but then it kind of went from bad like back to good, and then I had an enjoyable night. But most of the time, just because I wasn't really feeling it, I did just kind of sit in the little VIP section where the artists can sit, and I just kind of sat there. I wasn't really doing a lot of dancing around just because I wasn't really feeling it, but I was listening to the sets. I was just keeping it chilled, and like I say, I did enjoy myself to a degree. So the next booking is Chain Reaction in a couple of weeks. I'm on B2B with David Kleiny, DJ Kleiny. He's said to me that he wants to play a bounce set. So we're going to play a bounce set. and yeah, we'll kind of see sort of how it goes. Personally, I'm a little bit gutted because like I wanted to get some more tracks finished that I could play in the set, and I wanted to work on some more things. But unfortunately, I'm not going to get a computer in time, and I'm having major issues where it's concerns with the computer, to the point where it's actually making me think like this whole thing is just a curse. Like literally, it is like something is telling me like that you know that you are not allowed to get a computer, Noble. You are not allowed to have a computer. I honestly like I've tried so many different things since that computer has broke to literally like try and get myself back up and sorted, and all of the things have just absolutely just gone wrong, you know. So to start with, my we like I was gonna have a computer off my friend that he'd built. We got the computer here, it was displaying no picture on the screen. So I was like, oh right, well, you know, that's a little bit sort of rubbish. Then we was gonna buy one online, and I found one that I wanted to buy, and I've been having an issue with money. I've been having an issue with where I live. And I basically like I pay quite a lot where I live because I work a job, and it's really kind of like it's really kind of put me in a little bit of a bad situation that I'm hopefully getting it sorted. So that's going to be good, hopefully. But it is really been annoying. It's been an absolute pain. And then today, my friend said he had a laptop. So he was like, all right, he was going to let me use the laptop. The laptop is having an issue with the power button. So at this point, I really feel like where things are concerned, that I'm just having an issue with the power, with this whole computer situation. It's kind of doing my head in. I'm starting to get to the point where it's putting me off even ever wanting a computer again. Even though, of course, I do. I just kind of feel like, you know, am I ever going to just get a computer that is going to work again? Where I'm just going to be happy and be able to get back to sitting where I'm sat now and working on music. That is something that, you know, I really cannot wait to get back on and do. It's been weeks since I've really been able to get into FL Studio properly, apart from doing some bits outside of the outside of my house, like in the youth music studio, and things like that. It's been an absolute proper nightmare. It's been a real big pain, you know, as it is. Anyway, so with that being said, that has been not so good. Now we get on to the really, really unfortunate news, the really bad news, that, you know, I never ever wanted to make a stream and say this, but I am trying to keep as positive as possible. I am trying to do everybody proud, but I'm not gonna lie, I am really, really at the moment not in a good place. I'm not really not in a good way, but I am really trying to stay as focused and as positive as I possibly can. I've got some really exciting things coming up with work that I'm really excited about. Some things that I really don't want to lose out on the opportunity of. So like I am really trying to stay as positive as I can because I'm really looking forward to it. But unfortunately on Wednesday, my nan unfortunately passed away, and it was probably for me one of the most hardest pieces of news that bad news that I have ever had to take in my whole entire life. She was literally one of the closest family members to me, that I like that ever, like for as long as I can remember, like my whole entire life I have been going to her house. So every morning before school, I would go to her house for breakfast, and I would have breakfast before school. every night after school, I would go there after school. I'd more than likely have my tea there. Apart from at one point, I would go up to my mum's for tea, and at one, I think I'd go like twice a week for my tea, at my mum's. But then like a Monday and a Thursday, I would have my tea there, and then like I say, every morning I'd have my breakfast there, and then every weekend I would stay over at my nan's. I would stay over, and then for a good 7 years, I actually physically lived there full time. I lived at my nan's full time, and she, summer holidays, I was there every day. We were going out. We were going on day trips. We were going on holiday. We were always doing something. We'd at least go to Blackpool once a year, on a holiday, or we'd go on a coach trip, whether it be like to somewhere like Leeds, or we'd go on some adventure. We'd go on some day trip. We'd go to the seaside. We'd do something. There would always be something, that we'd do. And she literally was the one who brought me up. She was literally the closest thing to me, alongside my granddad as well. My granddad, obviously, I love him to bits. So obviously, to receive the news that she'd sadly passed away, was, it was really hard for me, and it still is. The thing for me is it doesn't feel real. So because I keep thinking, I just keep thinking it don't feel real, and then all of a sudden, I'll think of something, it might just be a memory, or it might just be like a saying she'd say, or like a song she'd sing. It can just be anything. And then I'll think of that, and I'll think she would sing that all the time, or she'd say that all the time, or she'd go here, or she'd go there. Like I went into town today to get some bits that I needed, some butter, some little bits, and I had to walk into B&M to get some sugar, and I just thought, if she was in town right now, she would have loved to have had a walk into B&M. That's something that she would have done. Or, she would have liked to have had a walk somewhere, or had a look in a shop somewhere, because that was the kind of thing she liked doing. And then I'd think of that, and then I'd realise, it would hit me again, that she's never going to do that again. And that obviously for me was what's really upsetting. That I'll think of something like a memory, or something we'd do, and then I'd think we're never going to do that again. And that is the thing that is the really hard part. But when I'm doing things, when I'm focused, when I'm going, on Friday, I decided that I would still go into work, because it kind of helped me, because it was giving me something to focus on. Whereas if I was just sat here, and I was just thinking about it all the time, I'd kind of feel worse. And sort of doing things and going to places as kind of really, really helping me. So that's kind of what's been kind of keeping me going. And then I thought, if I do the gigs, and then if I keep being positive and working on the positive things, and she'd want me to work on she'd want me to keep staying positive, and she'd want me to keep doing things. But it's just been a really, really tough, it's been a really tough week, to be honest. It was unexpected. I knew she was unwell. She's been unwell for a while. I knew that, in all fairness, that there wasn't really a coming back from it. I knew she was going to go at some point. I knew she was really unwell, and there wasn't really, any sort of, chance of getting better. But I suppose, even knowing that, she was still there, I could still ring up, and I could speak to her on the phone, or if I had a free weekend, I could still go through and visit. And that was it was some comfort. But now, knowing that now that she has actually gone, that has like really hit me, definitely. So yeah, that is kind of why I've not been doing as much on the channel as well, like this week. Normally I'd do like this Saturday we've got the event, blah blah blah. But I've just, like I say, I've really not felt it. But I've been trying to keep as positive as possible. But it's been, it's been really hard. It's been absolutely gutting. So it's been one of them things. But yeah, I had a really good morning at work on Wednesday, because we've got some good things coming up at work, and was having a meeting about it, and the meeting was really positive, and I left the meeting like on a real high. And then I thought, you know what, I'm going to ring my nan and I'm going to tell her, and I'm going to tell my granddad, I'm going to shout it from the rooftop that I'm excited with what's going to be happening with work. And I rang up to tell that news, and then I found out that, obviously she'd passed away, and that was, that for me, I'd gone into the back room at work, and I'd rang up, and you all right, Grandad? And obviously no, I'm not. And then obviously told me the news, and I knew in that moment for him that he's going to be absolutely, he's going to be gutted. He's just lost his wife that he's been married to for over 50 years, or however long it's been. So that is obviously going to be really hard for him. So I tried to keep as strong as possible, but it was so hard. And then I got off the phone, and then obviously I just broke down. And then I sort of pulled myself together, and I was like, I'm gonna tell work, obviously, that what's just happened, privately in a private room, and just let them know what's happened. I think they knew. Like I kind of came in, and I was upset, and I think because they knew she was unwell, and I think they knew. I think they obviously knew what had happened. Unfortunately, but they were really nice about it. They were really good. They asked me like, what did I want to do? Did I want to go home? Did I want to go through and see my granddad? Which I wanted to, but then they said that they had a lot of things to sort, and that they've got a lot on, and it'd be quite upsetting. And then the more I kind of thought about it, the more I kind of thought going there makes it feel even more real, because every time I've gone to that house, like she's been there putting the kettle on, and then obviously she wouldn't be. So I kind of felt like actually I can't bring myself to do it, in that sense. But yeah, it was just one of them sort of unfortunate things, really. I know she's in a better place now, but obviously, you can say that, but you don't wish somebody you care about, or you don't wish a family member to be dead, do you? You'd rather them be alive and well and doing things, and smiling and being happy, and that kind of thing. But yeah, it's so that's kind of why I've been a little bit distant. But I'm trying, and like I say, like some people might think like, why are you going on a live stream and talking about it? Why you being so open about it? And the reason why is because I want to keep as positive as possible, and I want to keep. I feel like talking about it kind of helps. I kind of feel like, rather than bottling it up, and this is why I've been so like, telling like loads of people about it, like who I'm quite close to. So like, like work things that I volunteer with, like I'd rather just like get it off my chest and just be like, unfortunately this has happened, and just try and keep as positive as possible, rather than sitting there and bottling it up. And that's what I'm trying to do, because I just feel like talking about it, and obviously what's going on. I just feel like it helps and it works better, unfortunately. Whereas I know some people maybe, they won't talk about it, but luckily for me, I've had quite a good, I don't know, like I've got quite a, because I'm quite a positive person normally. So like I kind of know quite a bit about trying to keep positive, and like it can be hard, but like because I've done a lot of the positive reggae tracks, and I know that there is always light at the end of the tunnel, and stuff like that. And I just feel like I've had and I've had some really supportive people by my side as well, which has been really good. So for starters, one of my social workers here has been nothing but amazing through all of this, and really helpful, and took me to because I came out of work on the Wednesday, and she took me for a walk to get a coffee, and just was really helpful. Came out of the office and just obviously did, and took time out to make sure that I was all right, which was really good. And just continued to obviously be really supportive, and then my friends, me good friend Elaine has been nothing but supportive as well, and then people at work again being absolutely nothing but supportive. Absolutely fantastic. Really good in that sense. So I've had some really good supportive people, and then of course I've had like other family members that have checked in, and stuff like that. I'm not going to go into the ramble and the rant side of things, but I will say that some people have actually really annoyed me. I'm not going to go into full detail of like the whys, and I'm not about to go and like stir up like loads of drama. But there's loads of people that have, let's say, like sort of piped up now and trying to pretend like they care, when in hindsight, when my nan was alive, like they didn't bother to go around and see her. They didn't bother to, to ring or to ask how she was doing. And I know some people were quite busy themselves, but I just thought like, you could at least just call in and say hello. And I know I'm kind of I'm kind of a part of that, because there's times where I could have gone a little bit more, and when she was in the hospital there was times that I should have gone and visited a bit more, but I just got busy and wrapped up in my own life, that I just got busy and I didn't go, and a big part of me didn't like going, because I didn't like seeing her in the situation she was in, because it wasn't how I remembered her. So that kind of put me off going a little bit. um you know but I wish I had gone more. That is something that I do regret. But there was other people that like just hadn't gone for months, whereas I sometimes it would be a couple of weeks, but then I would go again. And I'd always ring and I'd always say, look, I'm here this weekend, but I've got a free weekend next weekend, so I'll be coming through, and then I'd come through. But it's one of them things. You can't always get things to happen perfectly, can you? You know, like I could have gone last weekend. I didn't have a gig, and it crossed my mind about going, and then I woke up late, and my granddad said she was just sleeping. She didn't even he didn't even pass her onto the phone for me to say anything, to have a word, because she was just sort of sleeping. And I'd woke up late, and he just kind of made out like there wouldn't really be much point in me coming, because she's just sleeping, and it's not really the best situation. So I didn't go, and then obviously I didn't realise that it was gonna be the last time. But there you go, but that can't be a helped thing, I suppose. So anyway, that is going to do it for this stream. I did just want to kind of hop on and do the aftermath about the gig, and I just wanted to obviously state and just sort of say what had gone on. Like, I didn't want to just go silent on the channel. I'm, like I say, I'm not in the best situation at the moment, so I'm not going to be streaming and doing things like mad on this channel, but I'm certainly not gonna just let it die. And sometimes, like lately, I've had a little bit of a quiet year so far, so there hasn't been loads of things to stream and talk about anyway. So I've been a little bit kind of, and with the computer breaking as well, that's been another thing. So I haven't had like absolutely loads to talk about, to the point where sometimes there's no point streaming for the sake of streaming. So that's kind of why I've not, but hopefully we can get things going again, get things moving and grooving again, and keep a little bit more sort of on the positive side of things, and we'll just kind of see what happens. So anyway, make sure to like, make sure to comment, make sure to share, do all of that good stuff, and we will see you in the next one.